Hi everyone. For today's lesson, we're going to jump straight into beginning to draw portraits. And I feel like the best way to start this is by teaching you how to draw correct proportions and just like the spacing of facial features. Now, faces vary and no one's face is perfect, but today we're going to be learning just the general, area of where the facial features go. And along the way, I'm going to be teaching you super cool tricks to help find the spacing of things just a little bit easier. Because once you get that step down, you can draw just about anyone and, have it look close enough to the person that you can know who it is. All right, so what I'm going to do to start, like I've got my demonstration here. This is Harry Styles. The first thing I did was I drew a circle. Now, I prefer to trace my circles so I know they're gonna be like, good circles. So you can start by tracing a circle, just like that. And then you'll want to make a cross in the middle of the circle. I like to use a roller just to make sure my lines are straight. You also want to make sure that you're drawing these lines semi-light, because like you see here, I made this line of the cross a little bit too far over. So I can just erase it and redraw it. This is one of the hardest parts for me. Okay, there we go. And then make the horizontal line. Kind of just about like that, about even. And then what you're gonna want to do, so this will end up being the brow line right here in the center. To get your other lines, you're going to want to draw a square kind of within the circle. Oh my goodness. And this square is going to be kind of important. As you can see on my demonstration, I sort of outlined it in an orange color. Now, you're going to want to make sure that the segments are, for the most part, evenly spaced, because faces are made up of lots of equal portions. So this top line here is going to be the hairline, and the bottom one is going to be the nose line, which will be, the bottom of the nose will be right about right there. I'll show you my labels. All right, and then from there, you're gonna want to, like I said, measure these portions. You could do it with a roller, but I like to just do it with, a pencil or whatever's close by. And you're going to want to add that length, another one of those segments, to the bottom. And this will be the chin. So you just want to make that chin line right there and sort of connect it up to the rest of the head. All right, after you got that in, the next thing that I like to do is the eyebrows. Right, they split the middle. This brow line will split the middle of the eyebrows. And you just want to make them kind of equidistant from the vertical line of the cross. Pretty much just like that. With that being said, you can sort of take a guesstimate of where your eyes are going to be. The eyes will be at this exact center of this whole facial structure, and it'll be pretty much directly below the eyebrows, if you couldn't imagine. So I'm just gonna quickly draw in some eyes. Now we'll get into drawing realistic eyes later on in the class, but for now I'm just gonna add some irises and some pupils for reference, because this will help us out later. The cool thing about eyes is that a face will always just about be 5 eye widths in width. So from the side of the head to an eye is an eye width. From an eye to an eye, of course, is an eye width. And then usually there's an eye worth of space between the eyes, and so on. Now, it's sort of easy to just do the ears because they span from the brow line down to the nose line typically. Just like that. I'll give you another close-up. All right, and now here's one of those cool tricks I was telling you about. Since we know that the nose will end right about here, how are we gonna find out how wide the nostrils will be? So here's the trick. You wanna draw an imaginary, or just like really light lines, down from the inner corners of the eyes. And when you line those up, that'll be right about where the nostrils will be. So something like that. And then, of course, you can add in your details later on. And from there, just moving down the face, an easy way to find where to put the mouth, so the mouth will go pretty much right here, right at the bottom of the circle that we drew. But how do you find the corners of your mouth? The corners of the mouth typically line up with the pupils of the eyes. So just, again, you can draw a pretty light or just like an imaginary line down from the pupils, and that'll be where the corners of the mouth go. Of course, a Cupid's bow, and then your lower lip. From there, you can draw the neck. It sort of just comes down right about from the ears, 2 curved lines. And you'll want to sketch in the hairline just starting at this line that I was talking about. Now, a lot of people, you know, have funky hairlines, different patterns. You can draw one with a widow's peak that comes in a little bit. But just, I'm not going to get too fancy with this since it's only about proportions, but just something, you know, a little bit like this. We'll get into drawing hair later. And there you have it. That's pretty much the proportions of a face and how to find them. Now, if this helps you, you can follow along with this video. Sorry, there's a train. You can follow along with this video while you're doing your sketchbook assignments. They'll be collected by the end of the week. They'll be worth 5 points. I just want to have you draw a face sort of like this with the circle, the guidelines for the proportions. I want to be able to see all of your lines. And yeah, so I hope this tutorial was helpful and gave you some tips and tricks on the spacing of the face. And hey, extra credit if you show up to Bob Ross Paint Party tonight at Sproul's. Give you some bonus points. Thank you. Have a good one.